In the small forgotten village of Amakpu, in the heart of southeastern Nigeria, there lived a man called Okoro. Okoro was known far and wide as a man who worshipped money. He didn't care how he got it, whether by trick, by charm, or by pain. All he wanted was gold, land, and power. He lived in a big red mud house with a roof made of iron sheets that sang like drums during the rain. But inside that house, the air was always cold. Even his neighbors whispered that evil had built a room in Okoro's home. Okoro had only one child, a boy named Chika. Quiet, gentle, always helping his father with farm work. Chika loved his father dearly. And even though Okoro rarely smiled, Chika believed one day he would win his father's love. But what Chika didn't know was that his father had plans. Dark plans. It began on the night of the blood moon. The sky turned red, the air felt heavy. Even the dogs refused to bark. Okoro walked deep into the forest, far beyond where even the hunters dared to go. He followed the winding path of the dead river until he came to the foot of a giant leafless tree, Ezemiri, the tree of broken oaths. There he knelt, and from the shadows it appeared. The creature was tall, with skin like burnt wood. Its eyes were hollow, its voice like thunder and whispers at the same time. "You have come," the spirit said. "You seek wealth beyond men. But wealth has a price." Okoro didn't blink. "I am ready," he said. The spirit tilted its head. "Then bring me what you love most. Only blood can open the mouth of gold." Okoro nodded. He already knew what he would give. The next day he was strangely kind. He brought Chika gifts: fried plantain, palm wine, a new wrapper for his school uniform. Chika smiled for the first time in months. "Papa, thank you." Okoro nodded. "Tomorrow we go hunting. Just you and me." Chika jumped. "Really?" Okoro smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Just you and me, my son." They left before dawn. The forest was dark and the birds were silent. As they reached the place near Ezemiri, Chika began to feel something strange. "Papa," he whispered, "I don't like this place." Okoro didn't answer. He led the boy to the foot of the tree. Then he stopped. "Chika, kneel." The boy blinked. "Why, Papa? Kneel!" Okoro roared. Confused, Chika knelt, and then Okoro raised his machete. The forest stood still. But just as he swung down, a loud scream echoed through the trees. A woman's voice. No, not a woman, his wife. Chika's mother, who had died many years ago. "Okoro, what have you done?" The ground shook. The tree bled red sap. The spirit appeared again. It was angry. "You lied," it roared. "This boy's love was pure, and you have spilled it." Okoro dropped the blade, now dripping with his son's blood. Chika was still breathing, but barely. "You will get what you asked for," the spirit growled. "But not how you dreamed." Then with a blast of wind, it vanished. Okoro rushed home with his dying son in his arms. But the curse had already begun. That night his house caught fire. The flames danced like spirits, burning his farmland, his roof, and everything he had stored. Okoro ran to the village for help, but when people saw him, they screamed. Because his face had changed. His eyes were no longer brown, but deep red like coals. His skin had begun to peel like bark. His hands dripped with blood he couldn't wash off. He ran to the stream, only to find that the water had turned to thick black oil. His goats died, his crops withered, and worst of all, Chika disappeared. Some say the boy's spirit was taken by the tree. Others say the spirit gave him a new life, far away, without pain. But Okoro, he was never seen again. They say he walks the forest at night, calling for his son, begging for forgiveness, but the forest never answers. Only the wind and the whisper of the blood moon. And to this day, old men warn children, greed eats faster than hunger, and some sacrifices cannot be undone. So if you ever find yourself walking near a giant tree with no leaves, turn back, because if you listen closely, you'll hear Okoro